Welcome to the No Chill podcast, where facts get thrown out the door and no topic is too wild to get flamed.
I need you to chill.
Whether it's game-winning shots, blockbuster flops, or celebrity meltdowns,
oh, come on!
I'm calling it exactly how I see it. I've got no filter, no apologies, and definitely no chill. Let's get reckless. All right, welcome back to the No Chill podcast. No headlines this week, so you know what? Let's dive into the good stuff. Everyone hold on to your Rockefeller chains, because the rumor is, as Jay-Z himself is gearing up to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. Look, he is done with you messing up his vision, and now he's about to take matters into his own hands. Now, this is just a rumor, but if this happens, this is just not a normal performance. This is going to be a statement performance, kind of like how Kendrick did this past year. Let's be real, Hov does nothing halfway, so this is an all-out performance. I mean, with decades of hits molding hip-hop, this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime event. Rock Nation curates the halftime show and, quite frankly, could outshine the game itself. This is next level. The only thing that can make this better is if the Lions also make it to the Super Bowl, going back to the same place where it got taken away from us years ago. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Just imagine Hov opening up with public service announcement. Then you hear the drop from Empire State of Mind. Come on. And of course, you're going to get a Beyonce appearance. Just have to. If this rumor pans out, headlines are going to go crazy. And the culture is about to shift. For now, though, all we can do is just stay tuned, because when Hov's in play, game recognizes game. People, clear your calendar, because Shane Gillis is taking over as the 2025 ESPYs host. This is a very bold move by ESPN, as they're banking on Shane's thinking and disorder to spark some electricity that the show hasn't had in a couple years. Now, ESPN has had comedians host the show before, but to have Shane Gillis as the host is an ultimate wild card, because quite frankly, you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, Shane Gillis is as huge as it gets as a titan in the touring circuit with his Netflix comedy series Tires, which, by the way, is hilarious. Go out and watch that. There's 2 seasons of it as it is, and a top tier podcaster as that as well too. Hell, he's even somehow managed to snag a job at SNL at a certain point in time. But here's the real question. Will ESPN give him any room to breathe, or will they leash him on the mic? Shane isn't your typical go-to family-friendly choice. He's edgy, he's risky, and he won't hesitate whenever given the opportunity. This goes to show ESPN wants fans to tune in not just to the award show, but they also want to see if someone is willing to ask the real questions, jokingly, of course. This will either be controversial or a shot for ESPN to wake up this award show with some real comedic firepower. Look, all I know is that I'll be watching, and I hope some of you athletes don't get butthurt by what happens next. Congratulations are in order to the Oklahoma City Thunders as they won their NBA championship this year. I just wish that their fans were more excited about it than other people actually are, as the Thunder had their parade this week. But if you looked at the 2-block parade from overhead, it looked like we were back in the COVID days. It was the biggest social distancing event I've seen, as not a soul showed up for this event. Seeing SGA walk around with the trophy, asking fans if they wanted to hold it or even touch it, was the saddest thing I've seen this week, because damn near everyone could touch it because there was no one there. Some OKC fans braved the heat to come out to chant MVP to SGA, while others just decided the real MVP was their air condition at home. Meanwhile, you got Chet Holmgren over here trying to deliver the speech of his life, only to trip over his own words and damn near drop the Larry O'Brien trophy itself. What is with y'all champions just dropping and breaking trophies nowadays? No champagne toast, no high fives throughout the street, just an eerie bus ride down a lonely street. Now, it's all jokes. Jokes aside, I'm sure the Thunder had a pretty decent turnout for their celebration parade. SGA, your newly crowned NBA championship and MVP, who obviously played the whole entire 82-game season and 16 playoff games, went out and truly partied until the morning, which it certainly looked like he did if you looked at him on the Good Morning America show the next day after the Thunder won the championship, as this man rolled out of bed like a kid late for the school bus. Even the host asked him, "Did you get any sleep last night?"
I got some rest, not as much as I'd like, but hey, you only live once.
My man was legit hung over. Eyes red, voice all raspy, and breathing all heavy. And at a certain point, I didn't think you were going to make it halfway through this interview. But you know what? You're a trooper, bro. And to be fair, this guy did have to balance being an NBA MVP, Finals MVP, scoring champion, all in the same season, and to try and ask this man to string 2 sentences together before 9 a.m., you're asking for a lot. But here's the thing, like any true Canadian, he stayed calm, smiled, and said thanks. That man still clutched, even when it counts. The NBA draft just passed, and aside from the drama of Ace Bailey not wanting to go to Utah, this was the most boring 2 nights of ESPN I've ever had to sit through in a while. You know, the NBA draft was so boring, I thought my TV was buffering, but no, it was just the NBA draft running in real time. You know, every time Adam Silver got up to the podium, it looked like even he wanted to speed things along, like he was late, missing the end of Jeopardy. And you know the draft is boring if we're actually looking at what other people are wearing than who everyone is picking. You know what? Some of these picks were so unknown, even 2K is going to have trouble trying to put them in the game this year. Hell, the analysts were even bored. This guy's got upside. Bro, everyone has upside. The only pick that truly mattered was Cooper Flag. Everyone else you could have probably read about afterwards once the show was over. You know what? The most exciting part about this draft was the cameraman getting close up on Dylan Harper's mom and Chloe Kent. You know what? Next year, dude, just live stream it on YouTube or TikTok or something. I don't got time for this. And I haven't done a movie review in a while, so this is my review of Ballerina without the spoilers. Ballerina is a spin-off of John Wick, or another chapter in the life of John Wick, because he does make an appearance in this movie, which isn't a spoiler because he is obviously in the trailer and the poster at that too. It was a very good movie. However, there are some timeline differences in the movie that you'll find out once you actually get to see the movie and start to notice things. This movie does take place in between John Wick 3 and 4, which leaves you a little bit confused on who's still alive, where John Wick is in the process of trying to get his own life back. And now it just leaves you with a ton of questions that probably will not get answered. I'm not too sure if there was a different director for this movie or if they just dropped the ball and didn't want to follow in the timeline process. Or the simple fact that you needed to throw John Wick, Keanu Reeves in this movie to try and push it to sell it to other people who just don't want the story without John Wick. Which I think this movie could have stood alone on its own without having to mention John Wick or have him in this movie. But then again, I'm an action movie guy, so this was an automatic plus and go see for me. You go and check it out on your own. Let me know what you think, and let me know if there's any way possible they can somehow salvage this and make it connect with the next John Wick movie. Well, that is it for this week's episode of the No Chill Podcast. I will try and catch you next week, but I might be out of town, and you might be out of town too, because it will be the 4th of July. So if I don't see you next week, enjoy the 4th of July. Have a good time. Be safe. Don't blow any fingers off. I'll see you next time.